David Bay here from MuscoDevelopment.com. We are here on the eve of the 2016 IFBB New York Pro. I'm here with John Delarosa. John, we haven't seen you on stage since the Olympia in September of last year, so it's been a handful of months. Man, what have you been up to?
Training hard. I knew right after the Olympia I wanted to get back on stage here. Watching the guys last year, Victor and Juan, hometown boys, get up there and do it, I just, man, it ate me up. Not because I felt like I could have won or anything, just because watching my boys up there in our hometown, the crowd going crazy, I was going nuts. I knew I didn't want to miss it this year, so I just got right back to work and, shot for this.
All right. Now, there's any of the guys that you talk to from New York, this is a special show. And when you look at the IFBB shows across the country, I mean, there's really only a handful of guys that even get the opportunity to compete in their hometown from where they're from. The guys are spread all over. So, I mean, regardless of the size of the show, this show means something different for you guys that were, born and raised here in New York, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I think, coming up through the ranks, going to competing through all Steve Weinberger's shows, be it the Mets, the Atlantic States, the Easterns. He has a flurry of shows that you can really compete through all of them. But the idea is they're all here. Your friends, your family, they've seen you go through those ranks, and they can see you now compete against the some of the best in the world. And tomorrow's lineup is no joke, so that makes it even more exciting. The crowd's going to go nuts for the hometown guys, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah, that was kind of going to be the next thing I dove into a little bit. Was this is probably, we've been talking to all the guys at MD, Sean, Peter, Bob. This is probably one of the best New York Pro lineups we've seen. 10, 15, who knows? I mean, I think there's 7 or 8 guys who have been on the Olympia stage. A couple of guys have been, in that top 10 spot. A former Mr. Olympia and Dexter Jackson. Ruli's just coming fresh off a win. He's been a top 6 guy. So obviously you're swimming in some really deep waters here. You probably wouldn't want it any other way, though, would you?
No, I mean, I think as a competitor, we all want to compete against the best. Do I have my fears? And of course, we all do, right? I don't want to get up here and get my ass kicked. But, that's what the months of training, the months of focus and dedication in the gym is for, right? I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to win tomorrow, but we all train to win. Now I know my competition. I know Dexter's competing. I know Ruli's competing. I know Victor's competing. Again, like you said, there's a bunch of enormous quality caliber competitors, top Olympians, that I'm competing against. But my job tomorrow is to stand next to the best of them and show that I can hang with them. All
right, man. Well, I know you're going to be one of those guys who's right up there fighting for those top spots. But yeah, it's from a media standpoint, from a fan standpoint, this is what we want to see when we talk about the New York Pro. You have your Olympias and your Arnolds, which are obviously the big ones, but the Night of Champions and now the New York Pro, it's always the other real big show that everybody's looking forward to. And here we are in 2016, and we're really seeing this show. Not like it ever got away from that, but this year, I mean, we're really seeing a fantastic lineup. You have guys like Dominic Cardone, Blair Moan making their pro debut. And then you have guys, you're kind of the next generation, yourself and Juan and Steve here, some of the veterans and Dexter and Juan. So this is a really not only a diverse show from a competitor standpoint, but just a deep show from a quality standpoint. And I know everybody's looking forward to tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, guys, prejudging starts at 11 o'clock. That's Eastern time. Finals is going to be at 6 o'clock. Again, that's Eastern time. Everything is running all in one day. So these guys get to check in tomorrow. The whole works. One and done. So make sure you check back to Musco Development. We're going to have videos, live play-by-play, everything you guys are used to. But for right now, we're going to say thank you to John for taking the time to do the interview. And best of luck, man, tomorrow. It's going to be a good one.
You got MD got all the best coverage. Make sure you check them out on the website, MuscoDevelopment.com. David Bay's going to be doing all the coverage. He's got the best stuff. So Sean Ray over there, he's acting cool, shaking his head. Yeah, that's right. Muscular Development's where it's at. So you guys stay tuned. We're going to bring you the best.
Why do you think Sean wears the sunglasses inside?
He's just that cool, man. He's a legend. Look at him.
It's so he can walk through crowds and not make eye contact. That's Sean's secret. That's what I'm going to let him off with. But all right, guys, one more time, David Bay with John Delarosa from the 2016 IFBB New York Pro from MuscoDevelopment.com.